Hey guys, welcome to the Gift of Gab. My name is Ashley.
And I'm Charlie.
And today we are talking about relationships.
Yes, and all the good and bad relationships and
Yes.
Different, I don't know, just components of relationship and things that matter in a
Yeah.
relationship. And I don't know, we're going to have some fun with it.
Yeah, absolutely. So what do we want to talk about first? We want to talk about the honeymoon phase.
Honeymoon phase, yeah.
Yes, when you first get into a relationship and everything is peaches and cream and you love them all the time, even when they do disgusting things like sneeze and poop, and you just don't care because you just love them so much. Have you ever been like that? You just didn't care what somebody did?
Yeah, honestly, like I feel like, I don't know, like I don't know, I feel like that's just like my personality is like I love the honeymoon phase, and I love,
of course,
like I love that super romantic.
Who
like
doesn't?
we'll
Yeah.
like walk across the earth for you, like
Yeah, type
the
of.
roses and flowers and shit. Like I feel like I try to do that even still. Like me and my partner have been dating for 2.5 years, almost 2.5 years, and I still
Yay.
like I love that shit.
Yeah, I feel like that's important to do even after 2 years, 3 years, 5, to try to keep that honeymoon phase going as long as possible. Because it gets
Right.
real, it seems like real quick. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I've read a thing where, I mean, some people say the honeymoon phase lasts up to 2 years, and I'm like,
What?
right. I was like, I mean, maybe a year, but
Yeah.
I think everyone's experience is different though.
Different,
So
definitely,
like,
yeah.
I don't know. Like, what was your experience like with the honeymoon phase?
Well, I would say for the one of my relationships, I'll just say one of them.
Okay.
I would say it was a solid year, maybe a year and a half. We took things slow, but everything was very well in some aspects. Yeah, it was very honeymoony, very sweet. Hey baby, I miss you. Hey, good morning. Woke up thinking about you type things, and it was cute. It was fun. It was,
Yeah.
like fresh, like
Yeah, fresh is a good word for
yeah,
it.
like loving that love that you have in the beginning. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, yeah, I enjoy that. It's
No,
my
I
favorite part.
love it. It's so much fun. Like me and Nick, we like during our honeymoon phase, I would say like we went on like a couple trips. Like
Yeah, that's
I don't know,
beautiful.
like it like especially like that first trip was like almost exhilarating because it's the first time you got, at
Yeah.
least for us, we got to spend like an extended period of time because it's always been like school or work or whatever we're doing. Yeah, so during our honeymoon phase, we went on a few trips, and like
Ooh.
it's just kind of like getting acclimated with each other's friends, and I don't know,
All
it's,
that new stuff. It's
yeah, it's
refreshing.
everything all at once.
Yeah, like I remember, I think in my honeymoon stage, I had took him on a trip for his birthday. And we went to Mackinac. Oh, it was beautiful. We went to Mackinac.
I've never been.
Oh my God, you guys gotta go. You have to, if you guys are like 3 days up there, you don't even have to stay on the island. The
How far
island's
is that from them?
about 4 hours, I think. 4 hour
shit.
drive,
Okay.
I think. But it's worth it. Scenery's beautiful. Oh, I just love it. Sorry, don't mean to get off topic, but like being in that honeymoon phase, and like I got a room, and it was like a jacuzzi room, and it was dope. Yeah, just loving that.
Speaking of jacuzzi, during our honeymoon phase, Nick took me to. You've been in the hot tub gardens, right?
Oh yes.
Okay, went to the hot tub gardens, and if you're not naked in the hot tub gardens, what the fuck are you doing?
What are
like
you
I've been naked
doing?
with friends in there, like
Yeah.
So
you gotta be naked in those hot
yeah.
tubs.
So and then, but we had one of the like outside rooms.
Yeah, I know.
But I
That's the
looked
only
up.
ones I go.
But have you ever looked up and saw a camera?
Yeah, there is a camera, I think, in there.
I was like, hello.
I'm not even gonna hold you up. I've done some things in in that open ass hot tub, and
Haven't we all?
Yeah, I have, cause like you're not supposed to, but people bring liquor and other
Oh
things.
yeah, they don't care.
Like they don't care. They don't check your bag, so and if, I know you're not supposed to drink while you're in a hot tub, so of course
but you get drunk quick.
Yeah, you do, and you're like feeling it.
Right, you can control your music, so you're vibing.
Yeah.
Oh no, me and a bunch of
Sex
like,
music all around. What are you gonna do?
I don't even know what sex music is. I mean, I think I do, but
like sexual, like
I've
feelings.
had sex to some of the saddest music I can imagine.
I had sex to trap music, so don't.
Okay.
It was very. I didn't like it. Okay.
Oh, mine was very like okay. What we were just listening to.
Oh. Did you cry during would that make you sad?
No,
oh, okay.
no, I didn't cry. But yeah, so I mean, definitely honeymoon phase, but it's also like a good place to like if you're able to like keep yourself kind of grounded. I know it's hard for me. Like I'm very like rose-colored glasses and all that, but like looking out for like red flags and like looking out for like I don't know,
just the signs,
right? Because they're always apparent in the beginning, even if someone is like. I don't even know that there are like quote unquote toxic people out there. I think there are people with toxic habits and toxic behaviors.
Right.
But if somebody has those behaviors and those habits, like a lot of times you can see them if you look close enough. And I'm not saying you need to like look into every single thing. And
because then you might overdo it.
Right. But you kind of just have to keep like a real lens and like keep like a real perspective. And it's a good reason to have like a really good support group and like a group of friends or people that you can talk to kind of validate you. And kind of keep you in check if that's needed too.
That's what I was going to ask you. If you talk to your friends about your relationship.
God, I feel like I did when me and Nick started dating. I feel like I talked to everyone about it.
Yeah.
Just because it was so great. And I think that, again, I was kind of dealing with other things at that time too. And I feel like I was insecure about a lot. And but I talked to everyone. I had really great support group and friends. And I don't know, it worked out. So.
Okay. Yeah. Do you even talk about the bad sometimes? Do you feel like?
Oh, yeah.
Friends?
Yeah.
I'm asking because like I recently was talking to someone and they said that they don't talk about the bad in their relationships.
I can get that.
Okay.
Only to a point. Like, I mean, there's a line because there is somebody I know that is in. God, I don't even know. So there's someone I know that is kind of in a relationship that. Personally, I don't think they should be in, but it's not my place to tell them that. Me? No, it's not. I love that you asked that. But no, but I'm sorry, what was the question?
Sorry.
Talking about the bad.
Yeah.
So like there's a line because like it's like you want to talk about the bad with your friends
because you want to vent,
right? But you don't want them to have this bad taste in their mouth every time this person comes around or your partner comes around or is talked about. And so there's a line, and there's someone that I know that is in a relationship and kind of does that and has left a bad taste in other people's mouths, and so it's kind of a weird situation. So I don't even know that there was like many bad things like that. I mean, at least in this relationship,
and you could just be like,
right, exactly. So. I mean, for me, if there's like something that I need to talk to a friend about, or like I need to get out, or like I'm like, hey, like, am I overreacting, or just get a second opinion on, I'll talk to my friends or my therapist, or I'll talk to, those are the people I'd go to.
Right.
What about you?
Yeah, I do. I don't know if I do it too much. I might. I definitely talk to them out. I'll talk to you about it, or a friend or anything like that.
I love when we talk.
I know, I love it too. But yeah, I definitely will talk to them. But like one thing that I've always heard and is true in my life experience is like me talking to family about relationships. Like they always say, like family don't forget. Like you might forget, and family doesn't forget about it. And I feel like I'm kind of like that as a friend. Like I might remember if someone told me like, oh, he did this. I'll be like. Well, you remember 3 months and 6 days ago when he said this? Like, I'll remember that. So, I feel like I do add a fault sometimes. Sometimes I've said things and sometimes I'm like, dang, maybe I shouldn't have told that person that, or maybe it would have worked out a different way if I hadn't have spoke so much on it, So
I mean, that makes sense.
Yeah, you don't want to, and you don't want to put that past, because you get like in not bad relationships, but bad situations or situations that are difficult come up.
Right.
And that doesn't mean
they always have difficult situations.
Exactly. So that doesn't mean that like the whole relationship is bad. Like there's so many good, and sometimes I feel like I have a hard time, or people in general have a hard time telling the good. Like they might be like, oh yeah, we got into a fight, but yeah, you didn't mention that 5 nights a week he rubs your feet every night or something like that. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like we're so easy to
look at the negative
and not bring that positive stuff too.
Something in terms of relationships. So I did talk to my mom in about my previous relationship. And something she said like stuck with me. And I don't know that it's like super profound, but for me it was just like something as simple as like relationships should not be hard. And I think about that all the time. And like, even with like friendships, like relationships should not be hard. Like you should have a friendship, or you should have a partner, or you should have whatever relationship you're dealing with. It should be about growth, and it should be about like promoting good things. And like, I mean, you'll have arguments or you have disagreements, but they shouldn't be making your life worse on like a net scale. Like it shouldn't be a net negative. It should be a net positive. And
you can't do like the pros and the cons are just like adding up there. You know what I'm saying?
And so for me at that time, I was still like, I don't know. I think I was turning 20 or in my early 20s, and just learning that, I think kind of, I don't know, it was like shook me a little bit, and like it kind of readjusted my perspective a little bit.
But a lot of, when you say that, that actually brings up a good topic for me. When you say that like relationships shouldn't be hard,
right?
There's actually a thing, I don't know if it's in everybody's community, but in the Black community, we talk about like struggle love, and like how they praise Black women for like going through this struggle with this man. Like, oh, he ain't had no car, he cheated on you 5 times, but you stuck through it, girl. Like, no.
Why is that praised?
I don't know. Like, it seems like I notice now, of course, we're like kind of breaking out of that concept, but like even in like the music that that I've listened to that are, with Black artists and stuff like that, it's like, yeah, I cheated on her 5 times, but she still held down. Like, I don't want to hold you down after the first time.
Right. Let's talk about the power of somebody getting out of that situation.
Exactly. Like, I don't want to talk about, I don't want to make it seem like that's something that I have to do in a relationship, because it shouldn't be hard. Nope. And we like praise that it's okay for him to, or not even just him. I know I'm a man basher. Sorry, guys. Or, or just to be struggling, or, like, no, I don't want to do that. Like, I recently told the person that I was in the relationship with, like, look, I'm not doing this again. I'm not building a man. I'm not,
nope.
I'm not helping you out all the time. I mean, there's nothing wrong with help, but there's been times that I've done a lot, and I'm like, I'm not doing that again. No. I've done my time.
Yep, and that's the thing about relationships too, is like, I mean, this is only my second what I would consider serious relationship, but like you learn something, and like I guess not everyone learns something, but if you're not learning something, that's probably an issue, and that's something you need to look at. But like, even just comparing previous relationship to current relationship, like there are so many things I learned, like whether it was like I need to do more of that, or like I need to do less of that, or like I will not be treated like that ever again, and like I won't stand for that. And
right.
There's so many things, and relationships really like have the ability to shape you as a person. I know we've talked about like family, we've talked about friendships, but relationships especially have the ability to shape you to a core, like at the core of your being. So
do you feel like because of like past relationships, I guess you have a guard up or boundaries or something like that?
I do, and I feel like that's something like I'm currently dealing with. Like me and Nick have talked about it in different scopes of my life. It's not just one area where it's like, oh, this is like a struggle, but like different things throughout my life. Like there are things that I'm just like, when did I start doing that? And then you kind of trace it back a little bit, and you're like, wow, like I'm not saying this person necessarily like had an intention, but like because of this person's behaviors, like I now react, or I now have a tendency to do these things. Yeah. And it's hard. It's really hard to like be that open. And I know, we both go to therapy, and we've talked about that too. Yeah. It's so important to be open to talking about that with somebody, and trying to change and make that a better thing for yourself and your partner too, that if you're in a relationship. Because I mean, something I try to always keep in the back of my mind is just like, however I'm acting now, like regardless of what I'm going through, I need to be able to talk about it, and I need to understand that it's also having an effect on those around me. So I don't know. Yeah,
that definitely makes sense. I feel like you notice those things, like you said, that you didn't used to do before, and you're like, dang, where did that come from?
Right. It's almost scary. It's like, how did I transform, like, without even being aware of
exactly. Like, so I've been told that I, like, don't talk in my relationship, in my romantic relationship. Like, oh, like, I'm trying to talk to you, and you're shutting down. And I'm like, really? Because I feel like I have stuff to say all the time. But then I realized that in, one of my past relationships, that me talking was frowned upon. And it would be like, oh, my God, you're a crybaby. Like, you talk so much. Like, I literally been told, like, I've literally been told that I was weak because I, like, want to talk about everything.
Yeah, fuck that.
Yeah, fuck that. Like,
that's sad. That's, like, to suppress your emotions and have somebody else invalidate that.
Exactly. So it's like, no, fuck that. Like, so now I know, like, if there's an argument or something like that, I'm just like, I kind of just shut down, and they're like, wait, we didn't finish our conversation. What's wrong? You haven't said anything. And I'm like, well, I feel like I have, but I really haven't said anything. I'm
Right.
just like been, I hate to say it like that, but trained to like
Mm-hmm.
not say anything at all. And so
Right.
it's hard for me to, I guess, open up and be like, no, it's okay to express your feelings. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
So I know we deviated a little bit from honeymoon phase, but that's
Oh, we
okay.
did.
But that's totally fine.
Like, because that ends quick. No, I'm just
No,
joking.
it does. It ended just as quick. But something else I want to like touch on. I mean, it doesn't always happen during the honeymoon phase, but it's again part of that like newness and that excitement that we talked about.
Yeah.
Is like meeting their parents.
Yes.
So with your relationships, have you met parents? Yeah, you have.
I've
I know
met,
you
I've
have.
met parents. I feel like moms don't like me really.
Why?
I don't know. It might be an insecurity that I have, but I feel like I'm a bad like communicator. I don't know. Like I don't know. So I get really nervous. That's what it is. And I
Okay.
think I get nervous to a fault where I've been told that I come off as stuck up before.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, really? Like I'm not. I don't feel like I'm that at all.
Mm-hmm.
But then I notice like I'm like shy, and
Mm-hmm.
so I'm like, I think that's what it is. So they might present it as like, oh, she's stuck up, she's too good to talk, or whatever. But really, I'm just scared out of my mind, and I don't want to say the wrong thing
Right.
or
No, it's
anything like that.
nerve-wracking.
Yeah, it's nerve wracking. So I'm like, yes, no, no, thank you, stuff like that. So I'm real. It's
very
hard.
polite.
Yeah, very polite, and probably even closed off in the beginning because it takes me a minute to
That's
warm up.
okay.
Yeah. So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
for me, meeting the parents is it's different. It always makes me nervous. I don't know if it makes you nervous. But.
It does a little bit because like I want to like I don't know that there's an expectation, but I want to live up to it. And for all my astrology fans, I have a Libra rising, so I come off pretty charming, I would say.
You do.
Pretty sweet.
Very
So that works in my favor. But like meeting Nick's parents, it was almost easy because I literally feel like I am his mom a little bit in terms of like I don't know, like we just have similar personality traits. We both like care so much about things and that we like the same foods and the same drinks and like we just have the same like type of personality. I mean, there's some differences and that kind of thing, but I was just able to relate to her super well, and she's a very open person, so I feel like our energies were just matched, and I loved it. So at least with his parents,
Oh,
it was
that's amazing.
yeah, I loved it. I literally feel like I cried or something. I don't know. I probably did.
I never felt like I had like one of those moments with the people's moms that I dated. Sorry, I don't think
Really?
they'll ever hear this, but yeah, I've never felt like a super super closeness. Like it always took me like one time in my last relationship, or not my last one, but whatever, past one. I was super close. I felt super close to his aunt. Like I'm like, oh my god, I love this lady. Like she's just so funny and she's genuine and she like asks me questions and makes me feel comfortable.
Right.
Like that. I was like, wow, like thank you. Like I really appreciated her for that. Yeah, and even his sister was really like, oh, come on, girl, we gonna do this. So it was kind of cool,
That's
like,
sweet.
yeah, to have that. And yeah, so I've had that. But one mom, I really like. We weren't super close, but she was always nice to me. Always like, hey, how are you? Like, what's going on? Like, we even went on vacation together, which I felt like that could be a whole nother topic. But sorry to get so far off.
Yeah.
But yeah, we had a great time.
That's good. Like I said, I know it's nerve wracking, but so to kind of like calm those nerves, or like nice little segue, is you have to be able to communicate with your partner. And I know we kind of brushed on this for a second already, but being able to communicate. So like when things get bad and when you hit those rough patches and when you get to a point where like things aren't working and you maybe feel like you're on two different pages. Have you ever felt that?
Oh, all the time.
Yeah. And so
I
I
don't know
mean,
if that's good, but
no, I was just going to say, I think that it's normal to feel that sometimes. And I don't necessarily think it should be all the time. It's going to be different for each relationship, I think.
right.
But having the ability to communicate. And again, this is something I think I learned from a previous relationship and I'm really trying to implement now, is especially as of like the past like few months, I've been trying to make a lot of like personal changes, and I just feel like communication for me is something that continuously needs to be worked on, because I think that
Yeah,
a
it's
lot
an
of times we
ever-going
don't.
thing.
Yeah, I think kind of like you mentioned where you said like you think you're talking about things and you're like, I guess I'm kind of not.
Yeah.
And like I think a lot of us do that, and a lot of us are, we think we're getting this feeling out, and then you kind of are like, okay, conversation's done, and then you walk away and you're like, wait, why do I still feel this way though? And
Yeah,
it's like not resolved. And
exactly.
like, so being able to talk about, okay, this is the kind of communication I need, like, and set boundaries and parameters of like, this is what I need from this specific situation. Like, can we compromise somewhere over here? Or like, do I have to go a little bit more towards what you want, or a little bit more towards what I want? And being able to communicate and like, just want to make things work, or want to make things like feel better for each other.
Right.
because I think that there are like different relationships where there are people, whether it's one or both people, they don't want to see it from someone else's point of view, and they don't want to like communicate, and they don't want to like try to make things better for the other person.
Yeah.
They're just focus on them and what they want.
And that's not okay in a relationship.
No.
You have to think about, each other, you know?
Right.
I don't know. We'll talk more about it, I guess, in communication, I guess, or something. But Eartha Kitt says something along the lines of, why compromise, basically, for a relationship? Basically, for what? Like, it should be easy, and I shouldn't have to compromise. So I kind of try to not abide, but like feel that, like, okay, I shouldn't be compromising over every single thing. Like, I shouldn't be making the sacrifices. Yeah,
there's exactly. A balance, and if you're the one who's always compromising,
that's a problem.
There's a problem, and if you're the one who's never compromising, that's a problem.
Too. Yeah,
and you need to be able to be real. And like again, I think that comes to a point that we talked about in like the honeymoon phase, is like keeping that lens of realness. Like, it doesn't end there. Mm-hmm. Like, you know, people grow, and sometimes people change, and like then it's like, okay, do I have to change too? Am I able to like change with them, and not necessarily changing your core person, but am I able to grow with them?
Well, yeah.
And I think
because you can grow apart and
right.
not even know it. I feel like a lot of the times you have to be careful because you're not even on the same page as that person. And this is a person that you love and you've been with for years, and then like one day you wake up and you realize, or you know, you just realize like, oh, like we're not on the same page.
Right. And I think a lot of people forget, like, relationships literally take work and they take effort, and it's like you can do it a couple different ways. I feel like you can do it where you're constantly putting in just like some effort, and you know, kind of steadily putting in that effort to make things grow. Mm-hmm. Or you put in no effort, and then you get to a point where you guys are so distant and like in places where you can't even talk or communicate, and it's like you have to put in a ton of effort to try to fix that. So it's like, which one is better or which one's easier? I think it's easier for me to just continuously put in effort and try to be a better you for this relationship, and then you don't have to wait till it gets so bad that you have to put all your effort into one thing. Does that make sense?
Right. That's true.
I don't know.
I'm getting hot. Sorry.
Oh, it's okay.
Drinking Blake's Hard Cider here, so get a little warm.
They can be a sponsor for us.
Yeah, you can sponsor us. A little ASMR for you guys.
Oh, I love it. All right, guys, we're going to talk like this for the rest of the episode. No, I'm just kidding.
But,
wait,
yeah.
Let me get this one.
Okay, go ahead.
I don't even know if it picked that up.
A little bit.
That was a big drink. Ooh. Woo. We don't usually drink during our podcast, but we're doing a late night session.
Yes, we are. We never do late night sessions.
No, we're usually middle of the day where I'm dissociating.
Yeah.
When else nighttime I can actually think. Got a couple drinks in me.
I actually like this. I was just thinking that, like, dang.
Yeah, we might have to do it like this more.
Yeah, we've been vibing pretty good, I feel like.
Yeah.
Yeah, so. Late night session.
Yeah. So like another part, communication necessarily isn't one of these, but again, communicating and kind of communicating in the right ways kind of leads us into love languages.
Okay.
So
before we get into love languages, we do have a question from a caller. Hi, Michelle.
Hey, Michelle.
She does have a question, and I just want to bring it up before we moved into that.
That was a nice segue, though.
Yeah. It wasn't. I'm sorry. Did I ruin your segue?
Oh, it's okay.
I'm sorry.
No. I try to be smooth with it. Not that it ever has to be smooth. Like we can just say like, all right, we are going to talk about this, and like we can do it. So.
She wants to know: Do you think if cheating can be healthy for a relationship? I don't know.
I think it. I don't know why I yelled that. I think that it's very circumstantial.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I don't know what she means by cheating, I guess. Because like there are situations where like, and actually in my class last semester we had like it was like contemporary moral issues or something like that. Mm-hmm. One of the questions was like, is cheating ever justified or ever okay? And I don't think so. I think that it's a violation of somebody's trust, and it's like a very selfish move.
It is.
So I'm not saying that it's...
If it happens, okay.
It doesn't make you a terrible person. Hopefully you grow from the situation. And, but I don't think that it's ever justified, because I think that to be cheating, you have to be breaking the rules and boundaries that you have set up with your partner.
Right.
So exactly. I don't know that that's ever okay. I think if you talk about it and you kind of say, okay, let's have an open relationship, then, and you both agree on that, then yeah, I think
then that'll be fine.
Yeah, I think that that's fine at that point. But I think, like I said, at least in my opinion, cheating what was the question again? It wasn't justified.
Yeah.
It was not the word she used.
Yeah. Do you think cheating can be healthy for a relationship?
I don't think so. Because I think you're breaking trust because again, it's dealing with like rules and boundaries that were set up. So I don't know that it's ever healthy.
Okay. The only way I can kind of see it in a positive light is I'm sorry, I'm reading her text messages and I cannot repeat those.
Okay.
But the only reason I can think of it is maybe you might cheat and then you realize how much you might love your partner, maybe.
I wasn't going to say that. I could see that, but I think it can be healthy for a person and not a relationship, if that makes sense. Because it can be healthy for the person to be like, okay, like I now realize this about myself.
Yeah, and I love this person or
Right.
whatever.
Or
I don't love this person because I did it so easily.
Right. And I think that person, it can be healthy for them to grow from that.
Yeah.
Not that the act is healthy, but the growth is healthy and not the relationship itself.
Exactly.
I don't know.
Okay.
Hopefully that answers your question, Michelle.
Yeah, hopefully.
But keep them coming.
Yes, exactly. And if anybody wants to, we'll give out our
Next
social
time,
media.
this is what we should do. Next time we should like just post a question on Instagram or something, or like a poll or whatever.
Or Facebook, yeah.
Facebook, whatever, and then like we can just hop on it and then yeah.
Oh, my dad's calling me.
Hi. Have you ever seen that meme? And I don't even talk about memes really, but it's like "Daddy chill" like that.
No, I haven't.
What? Oh my god. Okay, we'll talk about it.
Okay. I'm sorry, but we are now moving into love languages.
Okay, the forever anticipated. No, I'm just kidding. Love languages. So if you don't know what the love languages are, I mean, I think there's a book. I should have looked up the author. I definitely know there is. And I should have looked up the author. I'm not going to do it, but look it up or I'll put it, whatever. So essentially he breaks down that there are 5 different love languages. And we experience these in different ways. Sometimes it changes over time. And I mean, you can experience all of them. It's just like maybe one is more intense for you. Mm-hmm. And that is like a primary way that you feel love at any given time. But essentially those 5 categories consist of words of affirmation, gifts, acts of service, quality time, and physical touch.
Yeah.
So we'll kind of go through those really quick. So words of affirmation, just kind of having your partner tell you that they love you and, they appreciate you and they are proud of you and that kind of thing.
Yeah, that feels good. But
I think it feels good. Mm-hmm. And then gifts. So actually receiving like external gifts or external physical things or, I don't know, things that they give you. Acts of service is more of like if they do something for you, whether it's like they do the dishes or laundry or fill up your gas tank or something like that.
Yeah.
Quality time, obviously just spending time together where it's one-on-one, uninterrupted, whatever you consider, quality one-on-one time. Right. And then physical touch. So whether it's like holding hands, kissing, hugging, like if it's sex, like whatever, whatever you think physical touch is. So me and Ashley, before we actually did this, we went ahead and did our own love languages.
Yeah.
So we are gonna, I don't know, what's yours? Do you have a top one?
My top one apparently is acts of service. And mine changed because it used to be gifts. Receiving gifts.
Okay.
So that used to be my top one, but apparently it's changed. I took it like 2-3 years ago, so maybe I've matured.
Okay.
But yeah, acts of service. And I can appreciate that actually. I love when like if I'm in a relationship and somebody's like, hey, like, I see you're tired and I did the dishes. Or, hey, or like you said, I do my gas tank. I wake up, my gas tank's filled up. Not like, it doesn't even have to let me know, but when your gas tank's on E or when it's full or whatever. So there's like little things like that. Like, hey, do you need help? Like, I'll help you out. Like, that is so, I appreciate that so much because life gets stressful.
Right.
And why wouldn't you have a partner that wants to help you out and, do better? Like, I don't know what you're going to do. No, I don't want that. I've had that before in relationships. I've had that, like, oh, that sucks. Like, that type of person. Yeah.
If someone said that to me, I'd be like, bye.
Exactly. So,
God.
You doing things to help me out, make my life easier. I'm gonna try to do the same thing for you. I would try to make anybody's life easier if I can. Right. Like, oh, you need this done? Oh, okay, I'll do that. I'll do that for other people, even in regular relationships. I'm not peeking.
No, I only covered it because I kind of want to have you guess my top one.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. What do you think it would be?
I don't think it's touch. I would say quality time, but I don't know.
Is that your final answer?
Yeah.
You're wrong.
I'm wrong?
Yeah, it's actually receiving gifts.
It's gifts? Yeah. Wow. I did not think that.
Listen, there's something about, and it's not like I don't love like expensive things like that. Like Like
Yeah.
Nick bought me pens from
Aw.
his work, and like brought me pens, and like I was like, yes, thank you so much. That means so much to me. Like I love just like the idea of somebody or like my partner buying me something, and it could be $1, it could be 30 cents, I don't care. Like, and just like having a reason that they bought it. Like that
But
for me, it's that reason.
because they thought about you.
Exactly, and that's what it is. Or like when Nick went on a trip pretty recently for school,
Mm-hmm.
and he came back and he like brought me a little pin, and like I was like, you know, I love pins.
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
So like I love that kind of stuff. So it
Yeah.
for me,
To know that they're thinking about you, like you said, while they're away or something like that, like that's
Right.
everything. Because they could be doing anything else.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
they
But
could have spent their
about
money
you.
on anything else.
Yeah.
And my second one, so I'm only saying it because it was a close second, words of affirmations, and I feel like that really
Ooh,
is a
yeah.
lot. Like that, like those two for me will really do it.
Mm-hmm.
And just knowing that like somebody's like proud of me, and like somebody, it takes the time to
Having your partner
understand,
say, "I'm proud of you."
brings a tear to my eye.
Exactly. Like, oh
God.
my God. Like anybody saying it, but like somebody you love deeply
Mm-hmm.
being like, man, like you did that and I'm proud of you. Like, wow.
Not to get too off topic, but I keep a card that you wrote me on my fridge. If you look over there, it's on there.
You did?
Yeah.
Oh my
And
God.
you put a little quote in there, so I love that you do quotes. Yeah, and it was just one that I don't know that you said you were proud of me, but it was something along those lines. And
Yeah.
it just, so thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Now I'm gonna read afterwards because I
It
probably
stays on my fridge.
probably forgot what I said now. So now I gotta go read it. But thank you. Yeah, my close seconds actually tied quality time and words of affirmation. They both
Okay.
at 7. I do love quality time. Like taking that time out, like, hey babe, I know we've been really busy, but like let's spend a weekend together, or let's spend a day together. It doesn't have to be a weekend or anything like that. But our lives get so busy.
Right, and I was actually just about to say that because quality time is my lowest one.
Is it?
Well, that and acts of service are tied.
Okay.
With 3 each.
Really? Okay.
Only because like, especially Nick and I, like we are very busy. Like I
Yeah.
work full time. I go to school. He goes to school. Like he works, and like a lot of times it's the opposite, and we don't get that quality time. And maybe that means I should appreciate it more. But I'm just so used to it
It's okay.
that it's like it's not even like on my radar right now. It's like, you know, I appreciate the time we spend together, and like, but a lot of times when we are together, we're doing homework or we're
but
what
you're
we're
still in
eating
each
dinner.
other's presence, and to
Right.
me, that's quality time. Kind
It
of.
is for me. I really like uninterrupted, like very much like
yeah.
like let's have a deep conversation and like learn about each other. I don't know. That's my quality time.
Yeah.
So
I know what you mean though, because when you're busy, I was in a relationship. Guy worked 16 hours a day. He was busy. He didn't have time. He didn't have a lot of time to do that. So when we made that time, it was special.
yeah. No, and I don't get me wrong. It is special, but it's just like while we are busy, while we're doing these things, you get me a gift, and like you're thinking of me while we're, what I'm saying, while we can't spend time together. I don't know. Maybe that's how it ties in. I don't know. I'm just making stuff up at this point.
No. You sound good.
All right. I don't know. Anything else you want to hit on with the love languages?
No, yeah. I want to say my least one is physical touch.
Really?
Yeah, that's my
That's
least.
weird because we just had a conversation earlier about how I felt like physicalness was like a thing, you know?
Yeah, and I thought it was too, but maybe it's not in my life because it only got one. It didn't get
Shit.
it. Yeah.
Barely made it.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't even need it apparently. You can keep it. But yeah, so that's my lowest one. That's weird, but okay.
Funny.
Yeah. I don't, but like, I'm sorry, this is kind of like off topic, but I don't like PDA normally.
Oh, me neither.
Yeah. I don't
Especially
do that.
like being in like a two men in a relationship, like being in a gay relationship. I sometimes I hesitate saying gay relationship because I don't know if that's like a right term, but being in a relationship with a man, like PDA is not a thing for us. I don't really know that it's a choice for us because it's just kind of like a given. The first time I noticed it was when we went to dinner. This is before we were dating. It was New Year's Eve actually. We went to dinner and I just remembered wanting to hold his hand. And like that was the first time it ever was like, oh, I can't do that because I was in a relationship with a woman before and I could do that, but now it's like I can't. And like that was the first I was like, not that I can't because I physically can, but you know,
society,
the pressure or like the reactions and that kind of thing kind of stops you. So if you do those kind of things and you're in a relationship where maybe you feel like it's not accepted by society, I commend you and I praise you and you're strong and you're beautiful and I love you for that. So thank you for your bravery.
Yeah, absolutely. I went on a date with a woman and we held hands. We did hold hands, yeah. And I kind of was like, oh, like Oh, she's gonna hold my hand. Oh, we're doing that. Oh,
Were you
okay.
nervous?
Yeah, I was nervous, and like you said, you did good. We did good looks, Um, we got looks and a couple stares. Like it was like a little
Isn't
bit.
that so
Yeah,
unnerving?
it's so
I
unnerving
get
and
pissed. I get
exactly.
so. I mean, even if so, like I know we talked about this before, but like even if so, I can feel like I'm not passing with somebody, like
Yeah.
if they can just, oh, he's gay. Like I get kind of pissed and kind of like.
Because it shouldn't even be a thing that you want to hold your partner's hand and you had to think about it like, oh man, maybe I shouldn't do that.
Right. Yeah,
it shouldn't be a
fuck 'em.
thing. Yeah.
Fuck him.
Exactly. So, yeah, but that was a different experience. Like
That is different.
she held my hand, and that was a really beautiful experience. I think she even like pushed my hair. Did she push my hair back behind my ear? Like something really like sweet.
There's something very like. I don't even know the right word. Beautiful, maybe about that, like tender about like pushing someone's hair behind their ear. I don't know.
Or like kissing
sensual.
foreheads.
Yeah, very sensual.
Kiss my forehead. Like I love it. But yeah, absolutely.
So I mean, so 5 love languages, especially come into play. So I've experienced it. I'm sure you've experienced it. Like moving in together. Like when you kind of take that. So you're in a relationship and then you take the next step to move in together. I think that those love languages are very crucial, and like finding out what not only what yours are but what your partners are.
Yeah.
Because now you're with each other all the time. Like even Nick, me and when we're busy and like we don't see each other every single day or like for many hours in the day. It's very crucial still.
It is
because. Like now, if his is acts of service, I know while he's at work or he's at school, like I can do the laundry and I can do the dishes and like get that done. So that way he comes home and he can do whatever he wants to do.
Exactly.
You know,
That's
and kind of,
appreciated. Yeah.
and that kind of thought process.
Or like before he leaves out the day, he might leave you something like a note. Or
Yeah,
a gift,
exactly.
Yeah.
So I mean, what was your experience like moving out like with a partner for the first time?
I felt like the honeymoon stage in the beginning kind of like rekindled, if that makes sense. Like,
Okay.
ooh, like we're together.
So how long were you together before you moved in?
I want to say 2.5 years, maybe 3. Yeah, we waited, and he did ask me multiple times, like 1 or 2 times before we moved in together. Like, do we? Hey, you want to move in with me? And I was like, no. And then the second time, he was like, hey, do you want to move in with me? And I was like, no, I don't. The third time, it was like family or like household issues, so that kind of like pressured it too. So I was like, all right, yeah, let's do it. But I actually don't. I know this sounds weird, but I actually don't believe in like moving in together before marriage. For me, and like the experience I had kind of confirmed it. But that's just me. I guess I'm old school fashioned in that way.
I mean, that's just your belief. I'm the opposite. I think that
you should move in together.
Yeah, just because I want to know, like, because it's a completely different dynamic.
Yeah.
Between like before you live together, after you live together, and
I don't think it's in my opinion, to me it wasn't much different.
Really?
Yeah, I mean the only thing was that he found out that I wasn't as clean as he wanted me to be.
Oh,
that's about it.
But that might be a big thing for people.
And it was.
Okay.
It was.
Yeah. So for me, I mean, but so I guess I don't have for this relationship. So with me and Nick, this is the only partner I've ever lived with. Mm-hmm. We moved in during the honeymoon phase.
Yeah.
Because of like school and
kind of fast.
because. So if he lives on the other side of the state, or he's from the other side of the state, and so it was kind of that decision of like, are you going to go? And he goes to school on this side of the state. So are you going to go back to that side of the state for the summer and then come back, or are you going to live with me and then we can just kind of do this thing? And so he decided to stay, and so it was
beautiful.
It was like 5 or 6 months in a relationship, and I don't know, it's been living together since.
Yeah,
so,
been doing it,
but. I don't know. It's kind of good. Like, so I know I keep saying it, but because we're busy people, it's almost better that we live together. Like, it's easier because now it's not like we have to like make separate time to go out and see each other. It's like, I know I'll see you at night. I know I'll see you in the morning. We'll kiss each other goodnight. We'll kiss each other goodbye in the morning. Like, so it's easier. I don't know. It's good for me to have that everyday kind of constant support, and I don't know. I guess physical touch, even though it wasn't my number one.
Right. But it's still appreciated, though.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep.
Yeah, I moving in brings in a different dynamic, but for me, it wasn't like, oh my God, this person's completely different when I live with him or anything like that. Like, some people say that, like, once they move in, oh, they're completely different. Like, no, I kind of knew who he was, and I feel like that was us taking our time getting to know each other. Like, I knew who he was before I moved in with him. I knew pretty much, things that ticked him off, things that, he appreciated. I kind of knew those things. And we were together all the time. So it kind of was like, when we moved in, it was just like, okay, I'm just here all the time.
I just moved my stuff
Yeah,
over.
I just moved my stuff over pretty much. But But yeah, I just I loved it though. Like we did have a great honeymoon stage in the beginning. We were sexing everywhere and it was great, you know. You know, because you get your new place and you know you're alone and
Yeah.
you know we came from both of our parents' house, so you know. I mean, we were, but
Going wild.
yeah,
After,
going
yeah.
wild. You know, you're by yourself. You're like, oh yeah, I can do this. And who's gonna tell me no? Nobody.
Nobody.
So yeah, so that aspect was great. I loved cooking while I was there. You know, being a little play housewife. I like that.
What's that game called? Chef.
What?
Oh, I don't know. Okay, never mind.
But yeah.
It's like Chef Lady or Chef Mama or something.
Oh, dang.
Sorry, it's really not.
It's not a big deal.
It's not a big deal. It's just on my mind.
Okay.
I'll look it up after this.
Okay. Tell me. But yeah, no, I appreciated that. I liked doing those things. I liked having someone to come home to, like you said, and being like, even though he worked so much, like he was still like a couple hours before he came home. Like I loved like, especially in the wintertime. Like I would be boiling up in the wintertime because I like to be hot. But in the middle of the night, he'd be like freezing cold because, you know, Michigan has fucking freezing weather.
Right.
And he would like be freezing cold, but he would like come under the covers real quick and like cool me off kind of in a sense. Like he was cold, but I was hot as fuck. So it was like, it worked. You know what I'm saying? And I would love that. Like, oh, he's home. I don't care that it's 4 a.m, you know, like,
Right,
you know what I'm saying? Or like, I remember like even living with him and I could hear his, you know, he had a sound system in his car or whatever. And I could hear it down the street. And I'd be like, ooh, my man's coming home. Like, I'd be excited. Like, ooh,
I love
he's
that.
home. Like, even when he would, like, leave, there would be times he would be able to leave work early. And he wouldn't tell me, like, trying to surprise me.
Right.
But, like, I'm like, ooh, he's home. Like, oh, I get to cook dinner today. Like, you know, stuff like that. I loved that.
Oh, that's sweet.
Yeah.
The game is called Cooking Mama, by the way.
Oh, Cooking Mama. Okay.
Sorry, I don't know why I just imagined you like in that game when you
That's
said
me.
that.